Hello, my name is Travis, and today we're going to talk to you about our precision planting technology that we have here on this row unit. This row unit is very similar to many other row units on the market, and the components that we have on here can be fit to most row units to most crops. This one's set up, it could plant cotton or corn or anything else, really the way it's set up at the moment. But mainly going to talk through, this is kind of the planter of the today and the future, and also talk through traditionally what you've seen on other row units that may have come out on previous planters. So just to start up here, normally you would see a downforce mechanism up here that would be like a spring or an airbag of some sort. The springs are what's more commonly coming out of the factory, and you would actually have to use some sort of tensioner or something to change that manually throughout the field. And obviously there are a lot of different changing soil conditions. So what we've done, one of the large upgrades that we do on rebuilds on planters or full planters, is this hydraulic cylinder. And this is our downforce cylinder, and this actually provides downforce and provides lift. So whenever this cylinder senses off of a load cell that we have here that's picking up off these gauge wheel arms, and any of the pressure that's applied on those gauge wheels, it's gonna tell us what that number is. And we're actually able to neutralize this row unit and actually put in, we only want to allow 10 pounds or 100 pounds or whatever it is down. So if this is full of seed or half or all the way down, we can actually change that. We can actually go through and change the settings on the fly, and it will adjust as it senses the different load here on that sensor. So as we follow our way back, the next big upgrade that we would normally do on a planter like this is the electric drive. So normally you would see a bunch of chains and sprockets or a cable drive on this unit, and now it's just wires. And what we have here is a 12-volt motor that's attached to the seed meter, and it actually spins that seed meter for the seed to fall. And what that's going to do is give you row-to-row control. It's going to give you shut-off, rate, everything that you need to make sure that your seeds are spaced exactly as they should, and you get just the right number of seeds where they need to be. So that's our next big upgrade that we normally do. And then we also will normally upgrade the seed tube, and we have a few different options. The most standard is our Wave Vision seed tube. So this is just going to be a gravity fed seed tube, and what's different about this one than a traditional seed tube is our sensor is at the base down here instead of halfway up the tube like you'll see a lot of them. So we're getting a true fall and seeing at the exit when the seed actually comes out, so we know when that seed is making it to the soil. The next thing is that this is actually using a radio wave instead of an optical eye. So we do still clean these tubes out and that kind of thing, but this helps to keep from those eyes getting dirty and you getting false readings or whatever, and allows you to put it lower down on the tube. The next seed tube option that we have is actually a speed tube, and this is kind of a next level up situation. Not only does this allow you to plant faster, it just gives you a consistent feed down to the row. So this is a belt-driven tube, and it'll go down in like this out of this same meter, but that meter will drop the seed in, and it'll actually take it down that conveyor all the way to the ground. And this allows you to run at a higher rate, obviously, because we can actually control how fast this is getting to the soil instead of relying on gravity. So this would be the next step up, and we have a lot of people adopting that to allow them to cover more acres with a single planter, but it also allows you to just have a better true control of that seed going down, so it helps in rough ride conditions and all those things also. So if this was equipped with an insecticide hopper, we could also control the insecticide with the same motor that this has, and we can control our rate, and everything would be still controlled all through the same screen. So that's another additional piece that can be added to this unit. And all the componentry on this unit is actually hooked through a central network. And then once you have that network of cabling and modules all on this unit, you can actually just plug in more as you go. And it's great for the investment that you can keep adding to things and still run through the same screen. So next you'll have different options for liquid control. So we can actually put a module on each row like this, and it has an in and out. This actually will give you your flow reading, so you know your rate. It will control your rate per row. It'll shut everything off. It'll turn it on, everything as you want it on the row, by the rate, by the speed that you're riding, whether it's lifted or not. This will control it to the row, and you can have multiples of these on each row. And then with the liquid, we also have liquid placement options. And with the liquid placement, we have, first here you probably see, this is not a traditional gauge wheel. This has a split in it. So this allows for us to run a 2x2 option with this knife. And that knife actually will truly keep us the exact distance away from the seed, and the depth will be controlled because we're controlling that with our delta force. So that's truly going to get your 2x2 where it needs to be. So that knife is actually going to be laying in a stream of whatever liquid, nitrogen or whatever you're running, and you can do it on both sides of the row or just on a single side, and that's just fed by a hose here. Then we also have on this one, you can either run what we normally put on the basic setup is a Keaton seed firmer, and the seed firmer would actually go down here where this tail is, and that seed firmer will actually press the seed into the trench whenever it comes out. So if, you know, the seed's not going to bounce around or whatever, it's just going to lay it in there flat, and that's what that does. But this also has a liquid attachment that you can dribble out liquid on top of that if you need to put that in the seed trench. This one is actually set up right now, is actually set up with our furrow jet. So it does a similar deal. This has got the seed firmer here, and this one actually will read soil moisture, temperature. It'll read if you have trash in the row, all that. It'll give you all that back on the screen too, and that's a smart firmer. But this is the furrow jet, and this furrow jet actually has 3 positions. You can see the 3 hoses there, and you can actually have liquid put out in 3 different positions. So it goes out to the side and one in the center. So the next thing that we'll talk about that's on this unit right here is our closing system. Traditionally, you may have just a V closing system, and it's just mechanical with a spring, and it really doesn't provide you with that additional insurance that is truly going to get covered up, and that seed is not going to have any air pockets or anything left open with it. So this is our furrow force closing system here, and it's a dual stage closing system. You can actually have multiple different options of these. It can be a smooth disc or these that we have here. And with that, it provides you the ability to actually fill this bag with air, and it'll actually push down more. And this one actually has the smart sensor on it to where it'll change per row. If this one needs more air or less, it'll actually change on the fly, or you can have just a mechanical change where you actually just set a dial, and it'll just give you more downforce on that tail. And you can also adjust this to push the tail down more or raise it up more also. And this closes in most any environment, moisture level, whatever it is. This just does a great job closing. And this dimpled wheel, you can see as they roll together, actually helps you with crusting also. So just a brief overview of this unit. It allows the grower to actually run across more acres and know what they're seeing. It's got sensors to allow them to know if the right thing is happening in the ground behind them at that time, or to stop if they need to stop, and for them to know where their inputs are going, so that way they can get the best production out of every acre that they have. This is the planter of today that we actually sell, but it's also the planter of the future, because you can still keep adding to it as you go. And this is what is helping growers across all of our area be more efficient in what they're putting their money into.